Have you heard of a group called CoDA, or the important work that they do? Well, today I'm talking about codependency. Listen on to see if this applies to you. So what exactly is codependency? I guess you could call it an illness or disease. Let me give you a list of symptoms and see if you recognize any of these. Do you feel you're always supporting others? Is this where your energy bleeds? Do you never have time to be yourself or consider and feed your own needs? Do you seek approval from others? Are you worried about what they think? Have you taken on more than you can handle to get praise despite how low you might sink? Is conflict to be avoided at all costs? Do you hate starting emotional fires? Always apologising or taking the blame, ignoring your own needs and desires? Does excessive concern about loved ones' habits or their behaviours seem to consume you? Their decision-making becomes your role, and you feel like you're managing them too. When you think about your mood, are you sure what you're feeling is true? Or does it seem to belong to others and those emotions come from them, not you? If you do something nice for yourself, does the guilt and anxiety soon come on? Instead, you do things you really don't want to, and the preferences of others you then don. Do you idolize your significant other, perhaps helping to keep their bad habits hidden? Are you terrified of being rejected or abandoned, and so instead do anything that you are bidden? Has your partner now become so dependent on you, it's like you're their eternal mother, which feeds your compulsion of self-sacrifice? Now neither person can live without the other. Is any of this starting to strike a chord? It's not the same quality as compassion. It's far more toxic and insidious. It's caretaking of an unhealthy fashion. What's the result if you have these traits? Well, others lean more heavily on you. Your boundaries become worn and identity is lost. Do you know if you are still you? What causes folk to become codependent? Most likely it's from when we were young. If our upbringing was full of difficulties where caring and kindness were near none. As a result, we learn some strategies to keep ourselves out of the firing line, to stay safe and avoid being abandoned or neglected or even punished at times. A straightforward way to do this is to always put others' needs first. Children are very clever and adaptive at quenching their security thirst. It can be common in families dealing with a disability or mental health issue, or where there is transgenerational trauma, perhaps substance or alcohol abuse in situ. And as that poor child gets older, they might struggle with emotional protection, being unsure of boundaries or their own decisions, picking abusive partners and toxic connections. Now this might take a lifetime to fix, and I won't be telling you how today, but perhaps check out the CoDA website, see if they can help that journey get underway. Instead, I'd like to show you something else, explaining healthy interdependence to you, so you can recognize how a relationship should be, which might give you something to strive to. All relationships require some dependency, but this should be of a mutual kind. So take a note of the examples that follow and try to keep these suggestions in mind. With interdependency, both parties are involved. Your value doesn't come from self-sacrifice. You both have a role in making things work. Offering support when needed should suffice. Your needs are met without anxiety or guilt, not focusing only on what the other person needs. You listen to each other and you share desires. A more solid relationship this will then feed. You don't try controlling others' behaviours and emotions, feeling yourself disappear and be smothered. Instead, there are honest lines of communication, a striving to truly understand one another. You can ask for support when in trouble, being free to state your expectation, feeling safe saying you're asking too much without a huge fear of rejection. So I guess interdependency comes down to this. You can assist others in your life, but not at the expense of your needs and wants, which creates all kinds of personal strife. I hope you've enjoyed this poem today. Perhaps a few things resonate with you. Maybe it's time to start a new journey, putting yourself at number 1, not 2.